With fall protection at RTL Construction, we adopted a no-tolerance policy above 6 feet. So at any point in time that your feet are at 6 feet, you need to guard against the fall. To help aid in that, what we have done is we issue every employee a harness, and then in every one of our gang boxes is a retractable, one roof plate, and one beam strap. Hoping that that would have enough equipment on site for those small incidents when you need just something. We also have community equipment out there that we bring around to job sites, so there's always going to be plenty of stuff for you. Fall protection requirements at RTL Construction. When working above a 6-foot working height without guardrail, working above dangerous equipment, working on ladders or scaffolding above an existing handrail, working around skylights, working out of articulated boom lifts or aerial boom lifts. The one exception that we made was working from ladders. When going up or down from a ladder, the user must face the ladder. User must use at least one hand at all times, giving you your 3 points of contact when going up or down. Users should not carry an object or load that could cause the employee to lose their balance or fall. Use a haul line to lift any loads up or down. I also tell people to use our scissor lifts to bring material and stuff up and down. Your belt buckle. Your belt buckle is your center point of your gravity. And you want to keep that between the side rails of the ladder. With fall protection, there are two classes. One is fall prevention, which is designed to prevent falls. Most commonly, it's your handrails. With fall arrest, it does not prevent the fall. It's designed to protect from the sudden stop at the end of the fall. Used properly, should keep you from striking a lower level or other hazards. With guardrails, your top rail needs to be 42 inches to the center. Mid-rail needs to be 21 inches to the center, plus or minus of 3 on both of them, and a toe board of 4 inches high. All of these need to be able to support 200 pounds of force. You cannot tie off to these due to the fact that anything that you tie off to needs to be able to withstand 5,000 pounds of force. Ladders, stilts, or scaffolding may make it inadequate. Warning lines. Warning lines need to be 15 feet back from the leading edge. We use the orange or reddish flags on white rope, essentially looking just like that in that picture. Right there. Other fall prevention types, this is the net system, which we don't get into too much. The other one is mobile fall arrest or fall restraint. We do have some of these units. With fall restraint, it means that you are allowed to get to the working edge but not allowed to fall, meaning restraint. There's also the safety monitor. You can use these on low slope roofs, 50 feet or less in width. A lot of times you see these with roofers. You have one individual monitors people working close to the leading edge. He has no other duties. The only issue with this is that the only thing that this monitor is good for is telling the OSHA inspectors where the worker has fallen from. If fall prevention will not adequately control the hazard, we must use fall arrest. Four components to the fall arrest system are body harness, lanyard, anchorage point, and a rescue plan. This is the harness. Essentially goes on your body, and at the end of this training, I'll show you how to put one on. This is the lanyard. What we have is, we have what they call the pelican hook. That's the hook that goes to your anchorage point. The smaller hook goes to the D-ring on the back of your harness. The other things that are anchorage points are our roof plate or the beam strap that we use. The rescue plan can be found in the site-specific in any job site gang box. With the body harness, you want to check for fit and make sure that it is adjusted properly. If not properly adjusted, can cause injury during a fall, can create a snagging or tripping hazard if loose. And with the anchorage end of your lanyard, you want to use the lanyard parking ring, which is off of the chest strap. Your harness needs to be inspected every time that you put it on, and annually by a competent person. Having gone through this training, you will become a competent person. And when it becomes our annual, everyone will switch harnesses and inspect another person's harness for the day. You want to inspect them for any cuts, tears, any kind of wear marks like you see in these pictures here. Contaminants that can change the flexibility, such as adhesives. And you also want to protect them and inspect them from burn marks from welders, torches. Inspection of your retractables or self-retracting lanyards. First of all, you want to inspect this hook, your anchorage point hook. Make sure that this cam's over and locks. Next, you want to pull the full length of the cable out and inspect it for any fraying or any wear marks or any bending. The other thing you want to do is grab onto it up here at the hook point, grab it right here, and give it a jerk, making sure that the brake mechanism inside catches you in the event that you do fall. And then your harness. You want to store it in a dry spot free from any dirt and debris, such as metal shavings. You want to protect it from any sparks, from any chop saws, partner saws, welders. You also want to protect it from the UV light. UV light will break down the webbing and cause a shortened lifespan. The lanyards that we have are not designed to tie back to themselves, meaning that you cannot loop them around a beam or anything else and hook it to itself. One thing you want to think about when using a lanyard versus a retractable is your shortened fall distances, such as anything below 13.5 feet. Your D-ring on your back is, on the average person, roughly 4 feet up. Your lanyard is 6 foot long, and the deceleration, which is the bunched up portion of the lanyard, goes out to about 3.5 feet. At that point, you are 13.5 feet to the ground. If you have to hook below that or at that, you want to think about using a retractable or bringing your hook point up, or any combination of whatever it is that's going to help you not hit the dirt. With a retractable, you don't want to have any hook-to-hook combinations. You want to hook it directly to the D-ring on the back of the harness. Take the lanyard completely out of it, store it in the gang box or in your bag or something, but no hook-to-hook combinations. Another thing you want to think about is pendulum swing. You shouldn't work within 15 degrees of center hanging point from where your retractable is hooked. Another thing to think about is having your hook point of your retractable back far enough on a roof deck so that if you have a 30-foot cabled retractable back 15 feet, you want to make certain that you have enough fall distance off of the leading edge that you won't hit the dirt first. Your anchorage points must support 5,000 pounds, and that is only one worker per 5,000 pound anchorage point. Bottom picture shows a worker being tied off to a guardrail. Obviously what you learned right off the bat is that a guardrail only withstands 200 pounds of force, and you need to be at 5,000. This is the skyhook anchor plate, which we use on all of our roof decks. There's a roughly 30 holes in each one of these plates, and we provide the screws for you, and each one of them holes has to be filled with a screw. This shows you how to run a cable through in the event that you want to run a cable on a leading edge system. If you're going to do this, you have to have another skyhook anchor plate every 16 foot from the first one. Rescue plan. Arresting the fall is only halfway there. In about 5 minutes, this worker will be in pain. In 15 minutes, potentially injured by impaired circulation. You must plan for a means of retrieving a fallen worker promptly and safely. What is suspension trauma, also known as orthostatic intolerance or harness-induced pathology? Gravity pulls blood into the tissue of the legs, and due to constriction from the leg straps, the heart cannot pull the blood back up, resulting in the individual fainting. Fainting can happen in as soon as 5 minutes. Once an individual faints, the situation becomes further complicated as the harness webbing can restrict blood flow altogether by cutting off flow to the femoral artery. The femoral artery is the artery that runs through your leg. As the legs collect the blood, the heart slows considerably, starving the brain and other critical organs of blood. Kidney failure begins, and eventually the individual will die. The length of time it takes for an individual to faint depends on physical conditioning, their secondary injuries from their fall, cardiovascular health, proper harness sizing and use. What can be done? Obviously, you want to have a rescue plan for each site that can be responded to quickly. One thing that I tell people is think about objects that you have on a job site that can assist somebody, such as extension cords. We have tons and tons of extension cords on job sites. These can be used. You can make a lasso loop tied in a knot fashion and tie it off to something, or over top of something and lowered down to the fall victim so that they could put their foot in there, relieving the pressure off that femoral artery. Fall victims should be instructed to move their legs and try to push against a safe foothold, and fall victims should also try to raise their legs up as far and as often as possible toward a sitting position to facilitate circulation. Once rescued, do not allow the conscious or unconscious victim to fully recline in a horizontal position. The violent release of the trapped blood volume, increased blood pressure, or change in heart rate could seriously damage the heart or release blood clots. Try to keep the victim's upper spine vertical and the legs in a crouched position for 45 to 60 minutes, and obviously have them evaluated by medical personnel after that. Now for putting on the harness. What I like to do is grab it by the D-ring, kind of shake it out, make sure that the leg straps go to the lower part, and you can obviously see the chest straps or shoulder straps are up here. Throw it over top of you. Connect your chest strap. Reach between your legs, grab the leg straps. The chest strap you want it at about the nipples. The leg straps, you only want to be able to put 2 fingers in here. If it's too loose, can pinch off areas of your groin and it won't be comfortable, and actually it will tear the skin off of your unit, if you know what I'm talking about. So you want to make sure that they're tight. It's uncomfortable, but it's not made for comfort. 2 fingers everywhere. Chest strap at the nipples. And you're ready to go. At this point, you will try on your harness and show whomever it is that's either on site or in our office that you know how to put it on. If you have any questions, ask them at this time, and they will relay the message on to me. I want to thank you